How's it going, everyone? It's Juan Romero here from SwitchWatch, back with another review. Today it's a game called Raging Justice, which is provided to us by the publisher Team 17. So thank you very much to those guys. But is this game worth your hard-earned cash? Let's find out in our review. The story is based around two maverick cops in Nicky Rage and Rick Justice, hence the game's name, although now a third character has been added called Ash to bolster the roster of fighters you can choose from and make this package a more rounded one. The city is being held ransom by a mysterious crime lord, of course, and it's up to you to fight your way through the various stages to take out the criminal vermin. The story is quite weak, but then again, these type of games never really rely too heavily on story, so can't criticise it too much here, as it's just part of the genre really. Now the tracks here in audio that greet you at the beginning screen is a decent rock tune, and then in-game the tracks are a mixture of electronic synth tunes which are reminiscent of some of the early cop shows in the 90s. Sound effects consist of punches sounding like when a boxer exhales when releasing a punch. Boss battle music is usually a little more dramatic. When you hit enemies, there are your painful groans, of course. It's all very 90s arcade, so it's a cool throwback. Now, visuals and performance, the game's style uses a pre-rendered look, which has come a long way since early Killer Instinct, for example. I don't think it'll be to everyone's taste, but to me they were perfectly acceptable. There could have been more effects added, maybe some blood that you could turn on in the options. Some of the animations are a little rough around the edges, but this is an indie game after all, and for £10 we can forgive the game a little in that regard. I personally like the style, and to me it was all part of its charm. The game is smooth enough, of course, and performance was good with no slowdown that I could see. Moving on to gameplay then, this is your typical arcade beat 'em up. Choose your cop and then take out all of the foes by kicking, punching, using weapons and mowing them down with vehicles which are controllable from time to time. Each cop has a different fighting style which makes them all different enough from one another. My favourite was definitely Rick, not too slow but not too fast, strong with good technique to get the job done. His dash was excellent to get those high combos. Controls are super simple here to get used to, which makes playing the game fun from the start. You can punch, kick, hold and throw, or hold and punch your foes, jump, kick, and of course use weapons like knives, baseball bats, or anything else you can get hold of. If you get into big trouble, you can pull off a special move by holding Y and X down simultaneously at the expense of some of your health. Now, using the D-pad or analog, if you double tap left or right, you'll dash, and this is essential to keep those combos going and also to repel things being thrown at you, which happens a lot in this game. You're also presented with the good cop, bad cop decisions. You can either arrest foes with handcuffs or you can kill them all. When completing the game, you'll be presented with alternate endings and presented with something a little bit special if you choose the bad cop route. There are a number of levels that you have to traverse through, each culminating with a boss to defeat at the end, and this is your classic 2D brawler in every way. If you're as old as I am, then you'll remember games such as Final Fight from Capcom, an absolute classic. This reminds me a lot of Streets of Rage also, but there are other games of that era which of course stand out. The thing which instantly draws me into games like this is their pick up and play nature. You're able to get straight into them without the need for tutorials. Pick up the pad, test the buttons, see what does what, and you're good to go. There are nice little hints along the way letting you know that you can arrest criminals when they are stunned. And just to add to that, it seems like sometimes you can arrest foes and sometimes you can't. It seems like it's a little bit random, and I wish there was a little bit more clarity there. It looks like the game took all the best bits of some of these great brawlers of the past and put them all into this. Now, the wonderful thing about this game is it's just perfect for that co-op action. Share a Joy-Con with a friend, you're good to go with a friend anywhere, anytime. It's a drop-in and drop-out system too, which is so convenient, and I just don't get why more developers don't utilise it, as there's no messing around to get into a game. It's a really good experience playing with a friend, but I also really actually enjoyed this one playing solo for one massive reason: those online leaderboards. I've always said if you make an arcade game, there's one thing that you can do as a developer to make it replayable more than anything else, and that's to implement online leaderboards. I can't tell you how fired up it gets me to compete with my fellow man or woman to top those leaderboards. To give you an example, the online leaderboards were working when reviewers and some of my colleagues had the game early. As each posted their online scores, we partook in a lot of banter through social media about who was the best, even to the point where Team 17's own man had to get in a respectable score. In the end, yours truly was top of the pile for a while, but it didn't last. My nemesis Nindy Spotlight took top spot on a number of levels. My point is, and I know I digress a little bit here, online leaderboards here are implemented very well. You get to post your score on each level and be proud when it sits there near the top. When someone topples you though, you need to go back seeking improvement, and that's what it's all about for me on arcade games. I just love the competition, but of course the game has to be fun, and luckily here it is. So the developer making games has done a great job here. The scoring system is nice and simple. Keep your combinations going for as long as possible to rack up some huge multipliers. Using that dash to knock your foes over and kicking them while they're down helps keep the roll going. And you can also use items like telephone booths or dustbins to keep kicking them and punching to keep your combinations going in between. It's super fun getting those high scores in this game and very, very addictive. My main complaint is the amount of recycled enemies show up later on in the game. Once you get past level 5, many of the enemies are recycled, and to make the game more difficult, they're all thrown in together at the same time. I also don't particularly like the vehicle sections where enemies are rushing at you on motorbikes or what have you. These were a real pain, and you'd sort of have to use your jump kick to kill these enemies, but they could be painful at times. You'd have to play the game quite a few times to understand where the enemies are coming from. So the game is very tough. I found it okay, but many may find this on the difficult side, even on normal mode. There is an easy, normal and tough guy mode. You'll need to persevere to get the rewards. It does also become repetitive after a while, but then that's something that can be leveled at this whole genre. In terms of value then, the game is $13.49 or £9.99 in the UK, and I think this game represents good value. Not as good as say Streets of Red, which had a crazy low price set, but still good nevertheless. If you want to see our review on that one, click on the link above. If you like side-scrolling brawlers, then this is easy to recommend at its current price. For a tenner, this can be a nice impulse buy, but you'll get the game that will give you a good hour or so to complete, and then offers a survival mode. And believe me, you'll be putting in a few more hours to get those higher scores on the leaderboards if you're a competitive beast like me. So in summary, not everyone will like its art style, I suspect, but I liked it just fine. The game is tough, it's repetitive at times, and a few of the enemies are recycled, but I didn't care too much as it took me back to the days when I was playing Streets of Rage, Final Fight and Double Dragon. Many more beat 'em ups I used to play back then with a friend, so I had fun. This genre may have been dead for a while, but this game brings it back to the forefront of many people's minds, and well, it does it justice. A 7 out of 10. If you enjoyed this review, guys, then please hit that like button. It just lets us know that we're doing a good job on these videos. If you're a new watcher here and you're wondering what types of videos we make, well, this is the type of video we make, reviews and gameplay videos on our channel. We're happy that we've reached over 10,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for supporting us throughout this journey, and to reward you guys, we're doing a massive 10k giveaway, so be sure to check the link in the description. We're giving away over 40 games to say thank you. Now, if you want to leave me a comment on this game, letting me know what you think, then we do our best to reply to all of those, so please do. I'd love to hear from you. And lastly, make sure you check out our website at www.switchwatch.co.uk. My name is Juan Romero, and if you've known me for long enough, you know what I'm going to say. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.